Welcome to History for Foos. I'm Felipe Esparza.
And I'm Butch Escobar.
And that was a photo of Butch Escobar in the car going over his pirates.
Going over my pirate stuff, dude. I'm so excited, dude.
This one is History for Foos of Pirates. And let me tell you, man, since I was a little kid, I've always loved pirates. I was one of the little kids who grew up, you know, who was, I don't know if violence was indoctrinated into my head as a young man, but everything I watched was violence. Like when I was a little kid, we played cops and robbers. We played war. I get that generation where people will pick up a broom, and that's a fucking machine gun. You'll pick up a stick. Every kid aimed something at somebody.
Right.
And pirates was one of those things that I loved. And and everybody has a thing for pirates. They want to be pirates.
I think there's like a romanticism with the world and pirates.
And when I was a little kid, my favorite ride at Disneyland was the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my God! So it's
yo ho 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 the pirates.
I didn't get to go to Disneyland until I was 30-something, and dude, that is the best ride ever.
I got to see the Pirates of the Caribbean ride before they got PC. Like on the one I grew up watching, it was a drunken, chubby lady chasing after a ugly, skinny ass pirate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see,
before that, because it would be like a hungry pirate with a knife chasing a chubby a pig, and then in the other one, it was a chubby lady all horny chasing after a skinny pirate, and he's running from her.
I didn't get to see all that.
Yeah, they cut that off.
Yeah, it's like a lady now chasing a guy with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Nah, that's okay.
I guess.
Hit a man with a rolling pin.
It was still pretty. My favorite part is when you go down that little hill and there's the skeleton with the wind hitting him and the rain. That is the shit, dude.
Yeah, when I was a kid, man, I thought that I was going to find a hidden treasure like Goonies and be rich.
Right.
Or like the Little Rascals.
I think
when
Goonies,
they went on a pirate.
I mean, I was aware of pirates, but Goonies was like the first movie where I saw that was like had pirate stuff in it and made me like into pirate things.
How about Sinbad the Sailor? Was he a pirate?
Never watched that shit. Oh no, there's no real Sinbad the Sailor. That's
but was he a pirate? Like if you think of the pirate? No, because he didn't really rob people.
Right. What was Sinbad the Sailor about?
It was a comedian that wears biker pants.
That wears hammer pants?
Who I hope is getting better right now.
I hope you're getting better, my brother. Man, one of my favorite comedians. Fucking shout out to Sinbad.
But he really, man, the Sinbad, the comedian, he wore the pirates. No, he wore a biker suit that was full on, huh?
He had like a vest and then like a saber, like had that like fucking Muslim looking saber. I think Sinbad the Sailor wasn't mostly about the golden age of piracy, because there's also the Pirates of the Barbary, which is more about religion, Christianity, and Muslim, which we're not going to talk as much about. But there is a lot of pirate lore that we watch, and we don't really know like where it came from. But I think Sinbad was more based on the that like.
Also, when I was a kid, there was a girl called Pippi Longstocking.
Okay, I remember the name, but I don't remember the
Pippi Longstocking,
have, like, hair
Hope
like
and a Hey and a Hoshana. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She was actually, I didn't know at the time, but I think she's German or Dutch. Either way, she's European. But it was dubbed in English, right? Anyways, her father was a pirate. Her father was a pirate, and he was captured, and he was living in I guess, held captive in a castle somewhere.
Right.
With a talking parrot, and he got chubby in there eating bread and water. Anyway, so the episode was called Pippi Longstocking and the South Seas. And anyways, she's like this redheaded girl, and she took over a pirate ship. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, man, she's wearing a pirate hat, dog, living the dream, and she has a spear, and she's eating a fucking Cornish hen, dog. See, Butch, that's the kind of pirate life I wanted to have.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know that it was raping and pillaging and not eating and
Right.
teeth rotting,
Starving, teeth rotting, being stranded on islands.
getting whipped.
Dude, constant venereal diseases.
And then they know black people, and you're the closest to darkness, slave.
And you're constantly sunburned.
Yeah.
Constantly sunburned.
And you have to work.
Dude,
Like
piracy.
when I'm watching Pippi the Longstocking,
Yeah.
it's her, Tommy, and Annika.
You ever
Three
wore-
people, bro.
You ever wore shoes for 3 days in a row?
Yeah, but
in the
I
same
want
socks?
hell no. When I was a crackhead, yeah,
Yeah, do you remember the smell?
bro.
Can you imagine the smell that these guys gave off?
You want to change the subject from Tommy and Annika and Pippi Longstocking to get to stinky socks and hemorrhoids? We'll go there, bro.
Sorry, too
So
too soon.
But yeah, man. I don't know about what kind of footwear the pirates had, or I'm pretty sure some of them got like
No footwear.
yeah.
Actually.
Anyways,
Yeah, some of
but
them. didn't
yes,
have
I bought these brand new, badass. I don't know if they were P-Rod Paul Rodriguez shoes,
Yeah.
but they were skater shoes, Butch. They were the color of the Oakland A's, green and yellow, bro.
Oh, nice.
Nice, nice, bro, nice. They were white and too, like they were like skateboarding Nikes.
Yeah, they're
But they
so
were
comfortable.
Man, they were tight. They were fresh.
Right.
And one day we'll do the history of sneaks.
It's actually not a bad idea.
And so I put them on, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on a 7-day crack binge.
Oh, you fucked those shoes up, dude, forever.
When I took those shoes off,
Oh, you fucked those shoes up.
they
man.
smelled like they've been worn for 10 years.
Okay. So imagine.
But now, bro, I'm telling you, bro.
Right.
Last time I told you the same thing. I was leaving footprints of feet stink. Like you had to spray my footprint baby powder, bro.
Resist the
Bro,
urge
like
to throw up. God
like if you would have
damn,
took out
dude.
the sole out of that foot and scraped it on a sandwich, bro, like they do that. Like how they got that Parmesan
Yeah.
and they burn it.
Yes.
You could have took out the tongue from my shoe and scraped it on somebody's sandwich.
I'm sorry to whoever's eating lunch right now. Jesus Christ.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so getting back to Pippi Longstocking,
Okay, thank you.
her father was dirty looking, bro, right? And she came and rescued him, bro. But so as a kid, they show you like a lighthearted pirate ship. They show you that these pirates, they go get gold that's buried somewhere when
Right.
they don't tell you the fact that they stole it and then buried it.
Right. And then they stole it and killed people for it.
They don't tell you that
Yeah, I
part,
know.
that they rape and pillage
Bro, and like dismembered people. Like,
and torture people, peeled them.
yeah, peeled them. And then we're gonna get into that too. There's forms of we're gonna like on this series. We're gonna talk some forms
'cause
of
I know-
torture. There's so much. Oh my God, pirates.
Because I
dude.
know that when I started, because I started before we even thought about doing the podcast or even thought about doing the history of the pirates,
Right.
Republic of Pirates. I already was listening to the Republic of Pirates book,
Right.
which is a long ass book.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It's long. I think it's 26 hours.
Well, one of our first conversations where we came up with the idea to do this podcast was, I don't know where we were at. I think it was Fresno. And it was me, you, Rodrigo, and someone else. And we would start talking about pirates. And like me and you had all this knowledge of stuff. And it was really, and Rodrigo too, but it was like, oh shit, this is a great subject. And then that's when we started talking about the history of stuff.
Yeah. So so I'm listening to this book, right?
Uh-huh.
But then I started like listening to all these other words that I've heard in the past. So I know there's pirates,
Yeah.
there's profiteers, privateers, there's corsairs, and then there's what?
Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
So privateers and profiteers.
Because I know that pirate,
Yeah.
it's just a loose cannon ship with a bunch of rugged men
Yeah.
who are just taking ships and keeping it for
Yeah.
themselves.
Pirate definition by definition is just a bunch of people nautically on the water stealing from other people.
That's true. The old joke, You can't have a pirate without being a privateer. I made that up.
That's probably an old joke at that time.
Hey, if I was a stand-up during those times, hey, check me out in Nassau.
What's the difference?
Imagine that you had been a pirate, a fucking a pirate comedian. What's up, everybody, man? Oh, man. I could see by everybody's lip, everybody's name was Sarah, the wench.
Is everybody's dick itching or is it just me? Oh, yeah. They're.
I don't think they would be mentioning that their dick was itching, because they would have kept that more privateer.
So there's profiteer and privateers.
Let's talk about
Corsairs versus
and explorers first.
Okay, so explorers were
Explorers were like Columbus. They were paid.
Columbus.
All the conquistadors.
If you want to bring one back home to us in regards to California and Mexicans,
yes,
Hernan Cortez is the most famous explorer of all times.
But he was paid by someone.
He was paid by Spain to explore this area, but he tricked Spain.
But most of the
into doing it because they wanted to kill him.
Most of the exploring at this time, we're talking like 1400, was done by Spain, because they had most of the
Spain
ships.
and France. They
were strongholds.
Right. Spain, France, and Portugal.
How big was the Spanish Navy Armada? Were they the biggest at that time?
They were the largest and the most
powerful. And they had
powerful.
the most wealth because they had more. They were colonizing before the British, you think?
They were colonizing the Americas, and the thing is...
No, but before that, were they colonized somewhere else before that?
Oh, yeah, they were colonizing everywhere. They were colonizing... You got, the Philippines. You have, like most of Europe. You have most of South America. Like, there wasn't a place that they didn't...
Once they got to... when did Columbus get here?
When did...
1491, right?
1492, yes.
Yeah, and 1492 when he got here.
No, but he didn't get here. He got
to the New World.
Right, yeah.
The New World. When he got to the New World, it was untouched yet, right?
Yeah, it was considered untouched, but I mean,
but it was untouched.
There was lots of fucking people here.
But not it was there were people here, but I'm saying it was not untouched by European hands.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't. We know that it was inhabited already.
Well, okay, so sort of, because like
let's not go like too deep, but it was inhabited already.
We'll say like according to history, because the Vikings had come here. Yeah, it had been only inhabited by the natives.
But I would say that Vikings. You think they were also Viking was they were living in a world that they only knew their world. They didn't know the world.
Vikings were just nomadic, and so they didn't
know about the Romans and British yet.
No, and they didn't come to conquer. They came to come and plunder and take off. Like, Vikings didn't come and want to chill like the conquistadors did. Like, so yeah, like the explorers of Spain were the first people to come and fuck this place up. Is a good way to put it. Is a really good way to put it. But with that comes.
But when did Corsairs come in?
Cortez? He came in.
Corsairs.
Corsairs. So Corsairs is actually the same thing as a privateer, but it has a little bit of a religious connotation, because you have almost virtually the same time, you have two different groups of pirates. You have pirates of the Golden Age, which is like the Bermuda area, and then you have pirates of the Barbary, which is the Atlantic coasts and stuff like that.
So Corsairs are the ones from 1400 or 1500?
No, they're around the same time. They're about 1600s.
Because I know the Republic of Pirates was during 1700 and 1800,
yes.
But we're talking right now 1400.
We're talking about 1600, late 1600s.
Because they were all explorers. I know. Look at that your little tablet.
Okay.
For that one explorer, because when I was reading the Republic of Pirates, that guy Tash, we're gonna get into him, Henry, that dude Avery, and what's his name,
Bellamy,
and other. We'll get to those guys,
right?
But Butch, he got deep, man.
Yeah,
he went to the Encyclopedia of Pirates. Like he
And
goes all the way to like why they wear those hats.
yes, like we did like clothing, I did food, and we're looking at I'm trying to find it now that we've been looking at it all fucking day. We've been looking at it all day. And what were you asking about?
I was talking about the first explorers that were not pirate, but they were from Spain. They're probably stealing and shit. I'm pretty sure they're not taking everything back.
Let's see, here we go. Shit, dude, where the fuck did I put it now? Oh man, I'm sorry, dude.
We're gonna make the fool walk the plank on that one.
Dude, we're about to fuck your shit up, Butch. Where did I put all the fucking dude? Because we had it, we were looking at it.
Bro, if you were like in a pirate ship movie, bro, what would you be your job? Like stereotype yourself in that pirate ship movie.
I mean, am I this race? Oh yeah,
You're you, bro. The way you look.
Me. I would be like, I would say I'd be like, hopefully I'd be a first mate or a navigator.
I think, bro, you'll be in charge of all the pit bulls, bro.
I probably would be in charge of all the pit bulls. Do they have pit bulls on the ship?
I don't know, bro. And then you'll be the guy that eats like the raw steak.
Okay, here we go.
Like that big dude that control that big animal in Star Wars.
Francisco Fernan de Cordoba, 1475.
Sounds like my favorite brand.
And then when we're talking about Cortez,
Wait, read it.
you want me to read about Cordoba?
You read about Cordoba.
Okay, in 1524, Padrerius, the governor of Panama, was informed that he was about to be replaced. In response, Padrerius sent his deputy, Francisco Fernan de Cordoba, on an expedition to Nicaragua to establish a new power base there.
What year is this?
This is 1475.
Man, cut. 1475?
Yes.
Spain is all over deep in South America,
Already
Latin
there, bro.
America.
Already there.
Taking riches, gold,
Yes.
whatever they have there.
Yeah. So like
ruling pretty much.
bro,
But they're
Spain is everywhere.
they're not really they're just taking resources, but they're not like established in
Bases?
But those are slaves on the people who are there, huh? They're
Well,
working
they
for
are
them.
establishing bases just to usurp the.
But there's a governor in place and a mayor already, huh?
Yes, but that like it's the same.
If
thing.
you're from Spain living there, you're rich.
So you know we used to have little towns that were
Yeah.
surrounded by the water to feed the railroad, right? So this little town had water, had a thing that served the train, just so the train could keep moving. That's kind of what these little places were that we're about to talk about. All these little pirates, Pirate Island, like all these little bases. Because most of the gold is in Mexico. Like it's mostly in Mexico. Okay, it's mostly in
crazy,
Mexico.
dude,
some parts of South America, but you can't get through. Nowadays,
Yeah,
you can get
yeah.
through the Panama Canal to get there. But back then, we had to bring it down into Bermuda. So as slaves were coming in up to the Americas,
But
gold is going out.
I'm just thinking right now, man, like people who I know from Panama, like that baseball player, Rod Carew.
Right.
He's from Panama, right?
he really?
Okay.
Okay.
He's African. Or people say he's African American, but he's
Oh,
Panamanian.
wow. I did
American.
not know that.
Yeah, but so that means that the Spaniards, who were probably already slave trading back then,
Right. Yes. Big time.
they brought workers, their own workers, black slaves already to Panama, probably.
Yep. Oh, yeah, totally. Well, the
But-
slave trade
so-
is
so
huge,
this is my-
man. It's the biggest.
So,
it's the biggest
but
next to sugar.
But it's crazy now when you think about like, getting a little off subject here. But when you're on TikTok or your Instagram and you're having a political fight with a white person, on Instagram,
right.
and he goes, "Go back where you came from," and I'm like, "Motherfucker,
I'm here.
we've been here
right. We're
since
from
1300s.
Here. We're from here.
My skin color was made in 1400.
Yes.
When Castro was here raping us.
Right, yes. When fucking Spaniards were raping natives. I mean, there's calculated, man, listen to me. There was calculated 75 million native people living in this area between here and South America
I always think
at one time.
They were I know that in Puerto Rico, before the Spaniards were there, they were the natives that were pretty much wiped out the Taino Indians.
Yeah.
Those are the native. That's why some Puerto Ricans and Cubans, people from that Caribbean people, Latinos,
Okay, yeah.
they got the dark circles.
Right.
That's the last remaining trait of the
Tainos.
Taino Indians,
Really?
which were they were like they were probably a mixed race probably. But anyway, so they brought in Africans from Africa to teach those natives how to work the sugar farms.
Right. Yeah.
But then those Tainos said, "Fuck that, we ain't do that shit."
Let's just bring them all in here.
Yeah, man. So wow, man. So go back.
Okay.
Castro.
So let me just point out one thing too.
All right, please point it out.
There was estimated 75 million natives at one time. By the time the Spaniards were done in this area, there was 5 million.
That's what I'm gonna ask you, man.
They killed over 70 million of our people, like of our native ancestors, before this area was settled.
So you're saying we were shorter?
We were a lot shorter.
Hey,
yeah. Okay. So what was your question? Sorry. Let's get back to
the
it.
question is this: so you said there was 75 million natives,
That's as estimated.
tribes.
Yeah, 75 million population between South America and North America.
So my question was, cause I didn't go too deep on this, but 'cause we're talking about Castro here. So they send this food to Nicaragua, right? So they're sending him to Nicaragua, like it's already theirs, and Nicaragua, of course, it's already inhabited. There's
Right.
natives there. There's Incas.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Okay, you ready for this?
Ready, bro.
Cordoba explored the shores of Lake Nicaragua and found the settlements of Bruselas, Granada, Leon. He also explored the San Juan River, Lake Nicaragua's outlet to the Caribbean. It was hoped for some time that the routes could be used for shipping routes to the Pacific Ocean from the Atlantic, but the river was non-navigable. When Cordoba finally declared his independence from the governor, Pedreras tried and had him executed for disloyalty.
Yeah.
So, that happens.
After you put in all the work, huh?
After they put in the work, they go, okay, let's get. That's what they did to Cortez too. They're like, he did a lot, and then they ended up killing him at the end as well, I believe.
It's indispensable, huh?
It
makes you want to be a pirate.
Well, it's just you're a tool. All you are is just a piece of property to these people, and that's the thing, man. Is if you want to know more about California, Hernan Cortez came up this way. And he had it in his mind from this book he read that there was this hidden, paradise out here. It was from a fictional book. This dude was just delusional. So he tricked the government into giving him tons of money to explore here. He also thought it was an island. And when he mapped it, he wrote it as an island. But in his mind, in this book that was really famous at the time, everybody was reading it. It had said that this land in the book was called California, and it was inhabited by beautiful, dark women and lots of gold, which he was totally delusional about, but ended up being a real thing because, most of the gold in this world comes from our regions. So, and that's the thing, man, is that we go, okay, these are explorers, but they were pirates as well. They did their share of pirating. They would hit these boats, and there's nobody to help you, bro. It's not you could call and go, "Hey, we're being fucking attacked." Because even if you're in the harbor of one of these islands, it's gonna take forever for security forces to come over and help you. So people were just fucking each other up back then.
Man, in the Report of the Pirates book, I read that if you were the captain of the ship, which the captain, which I somebody wrote this down on TikTok for me, was that the reason that the captain of the ship is called the captain because he's in charge of all the capital in it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
The whole capital.
Right. He's in charge of the capital and everything. So he's in charge of the economy of the ship, which makes sense. And that's the thing too, is that it
all goes back to dollars, bro. Always back to dollars. What does Joe Pesci say in casinos? It's always the dollars.
It's always the dollars. Well, the thing is, man.
Makes sense, right, Butch?
Totally.
Captain, capital.
And a good capitalistic society is a good democratic society.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing pirates get credit for. And it's true. They were very democratic.
Yes, one thing
Very
about,
democratic.
not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but yes, the pirates were very democratic, and they were very diverse,
Right. Very diverse as well. Yes.
and very literate. But if you could read, you were a captain.
Well, there and as
But
we,
they knew everything by they knew everything by the moon.
right. Well, as we go along through here, you're gonna find that as this band of savages, these fucking, a lot of them are dumb fucks. Majority of them are dumb fucks. But there's a lot of literate. There's guys. There's a lot of scientists. There's a lot of a lot of the information we get is from a guy named Excamelon, who was a member of the.
You're a melon.
He's a member of the Buccaneers, but he was also very well written, so he could write really well, and he recorded a lot of his adventures with the Buccaneers, Henry Morgan, all that stuff.
You know what I learned about the Republic of Pirates and the other one I have flags and something else
Blue Waters or
and
something?
Blue Waters.
Yeah, flags and Blue Waters.
That when I was like the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? I was like, why the Pittsburgh Pirates? But then when I learned more was that Philadelphia was doing a lot of trading with pirates.
Yes.
Back in the days.
A lot of towns.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem that they had. That, as we talk about mostly what we're talking about is the Golden Age, and the Golden Age came after the 10 years war between Great Britain and Portugal, Spain, and France.
Yeah, because France and
some of the
Spain
Dutch shit.
got together to fight England
Right.
and the Dutch.
So a lot
It
of
was called World War Zero.
what were we? I'm sorry, I got off. I lost.
You got way off, bro. You were starting World War -0 here.
Okay, yeah.
You were talking about you said when you're talking about pirates in Berkeley, you said
No, you just brought up something, and you were talking about something, and you told me you wanted to talk about it before.
well, I mentioned the reason they call captain is because of capital.
Capital, right?
And then you said because he's in charge of the whole net growth of the
and
ship.
then it's democratic.
Democratic, and it's very diverse.
Bro, we took mad bog rips before this show.
No, then I said that what I learned about that book was that
Yes, you're talking about the book, and then the flags over blue waters. Go ahead.
yeah, and then I was about to say that before we got off track with all that was that when inside the ship, like the captain, the people that was in charge of the Nautilus, whatever it's called.
The stars and guys.
Yeah, the guy,
navigator.
the navigator in the ship. The guy steering, but the captain's quarters. That dude was eating good food.
Yes.
He was drinking good wine and eating food that was cooked, that was pretty good food.
Right.
Now, everybody else, they just gave them beer, rum, or wine, or something rotten bread.
Yeah, hardtack is what it was called.
Hardtack, huh?
Hardtack. So the problem that pirates had a lot are like just ships in general,
But
naval stuff.
there were no oven for them, huh?
You can't keep flour. You can't keep anything because it goes bad. And then a hearth is what, like, there's no oven, so you constantly have to have a fire stoked to cook stuff. The problem that they kept running into was everything would go bad. Hardtack. So what they do is they take literally just water, flour, a little bit of oil or butter, and then they'd mix it together till it was this like really like clay-like substance, and then they'd make these little cookies with holes in it, and then they would cook those, and you would get two hardtacks, and then you'd get this pound of salty beef, salt pork, which is like you have to boil it to get the salt out. It's really disgusting. And beer or rum, and the reason why they gave you beer or rum or grog, which was both together,
You made this at your house, huh?
on accident. I've made beer before, yes. I'm guilty of that. The reason why they had that is because water would go bad too, and they would have like shit that would fucking kill them or give them diarrhea or dysentery. So the beer, the alcohol, the beer, or in the rum, kept you from getting diseases. But you were also fucked up the whole time you were working.
Man, but I was just thinking about how it life must have been really rough back then to accept terms like that you're gonna just be having bread and water every once in a while.
Right.
You know, and that's what they were eating on a ship that was regulated. This is not even a pirate ship. A pirate ship. They were eating good, bro.
Pirates were eating great when they plundered well, but they sometimes lived like shit when they weren't. Pirates had to keep it going, but these are men of excess. So it's not like they'd plunder a ship for like $1 million and then go fucking put it in the bank and raise a family. They would go to port, blow it on women, blow it on fucking drinking, blow it on hotel stays, and then as soon as they were broke, they'd go try to find another, like they'd go regroup and go back out and fuck shit up again. Pirates lived way better than, and that was the problem, was that, you know, these guys were going up against, these Navy guys were going up against well-fed people who wanted what they had.
You know why the pirates wear that patch?
Yes.
They wear that patch during the day, so they could look to block that one eye.
Right.
And then at nighttime they switch it off so that the eye that been dark all day could see better at night.
Well, it was because you go down in the ship, and if you went down in the ship, it's super dark. There's no fucking like lights to turn on. So you had one eye that was adjusted. So when you raided a ship and you had to go down underneath and fight, you had one good eye to fight with. While the other guys are fighting with, like, you know, daylight in their eyes coming down.
But at TikTok they said to navigate the ship at night.
To navigate the ship at night?
Yeah, when you
yeah,
like
because,
this.
well, the reason why
When
I think
you
it's...
look up, same thing as when you go down.
Sure, but I mean, like, the night comes gradually. It's not like it comes right away. You know what I mean? So
But if you have this eye looking at darkness all day, then when you open it, probably it looks better.
Right. Yeah, I guess. I think that's bullshit, though. I think it actually was so that when they were able to fight underneath the boat, they were able to switch it over. Because to me, night comes gradually. I don't need my eyes to adjust right away at night.
You're not a pirate, bro.
I'm not a pirate, though. You're right.
That's what that was one of my jokes. I said that because you know those conspiracy theories. He said, man, the government is watching you through your computer.
Right.
And I said, bro, all they're gonna see is a pirate every 3 days.
Ah!
I don't know why that show doesn't get the laugh it deserves, bro.
It's so good, dude. I like it.
What's the worst when you're growing up?
Right.
Did you have pirate jokes? Or did you draw the pirate flag, or did you like the Raiders because of the?
I wasn't into pirates till I got like to be a teacher.
You became a Raider fan, huh, Holmes?
I'm not a Raider fan. Please don't put me on the spot with your people now, because
So you're flying the mighty cone flag, huh? I heard the guy hit you up for tickets.
He did, dude.
No fucking way.
Again, Eric Hurtado. I don't know if you fucking listen.
Eric Hurtado.
Dude, if you guys know this homie, tell him we talk about him in the podcast and it's not the
Eric
best.
Hurtado.
You hit me up again, bro, straight. No, hey, man. How's it going? Hope you're good. Hope life's good for you.
So with them tickets.
What's up with them tickets in May, fool?
No shame.
Yeah, no shame, dude. No shame. No shame. Those are the real pirates.
Man, I remember when I went to the lighthouse over here in St. Vincent Lighthouse in California, and I didn't know, but it's interesting that I don't know how much you are familiar with nautical flags.
Okay. Yeah.
But I didn't know that every flag that they raise up, a legit one, is a signal.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going right or I'm going left. Is that something that they do that back then too? or pirates didn't give a fuck?
No, pirates actually used flags a lot, and it was called. That's where we get the term false flag operation, because that's how they rolled up on people. They would be like, "Hey, we come in peace. So here's the British flag, here's the peace flag, and then you have a hail flag that goes, "Hey, stop. We need to identify each other." And then the next one is we come in peace. And so you link up. What's up, man? I'm from blah 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 blah. But then, like, they'd pull up and you'd have a bunch of dudes in regular British uniforms. And as soon as they'd connect ships, boom, all the pirates would come out.
That's why
And what was called sacking the ship.
that's when you have that skinny crackhead looking fool like Flacco way up there with a telescope.
Yep, in the bird's nest.
But he don't need he would he have a telescope, or he just would see it from way up there?
He'd have one of those. Those existed. They're called.
But then the captain had one too, right?
Yeah, the captain had one, and then the guy above in the crow's nest had a spyglass. And that guy had a million jobs. It wasn't like he just sat up there all day. Like, that guy would like do other shit. And then
Yeah, he was in charge of coming up with pirate songs. Yo ho ho
He'd
ho.
get down, write the song.
Pirates life
Go
your mom.
check. Yeah, so they would raise flags. And then sometimes if they were on the same track, it'd be like, you go right, I'll go left. And stuff like that. And because there was no even, we didn't come up with Morse code, I don't know, until like
I know, man, like
way later.
Like when you want, now when I think about it, man, like now that I know more about pirates than I should ever know, you think of the musical, like the Pirates of whatever
Penzance.
What?
Pirates of Penzance.
Pirate Penzance. There's like pirates dancing and floating with ropes.
Let me tell you something.
And then when you think about it, man, these fools stunk.
Bro, they were awful.
There were no women.
These are awful fucking dudes. And yes, there was a lot of gay fucking. There was a lot of gay fucking.
I don't know which pirates you saw, but I didn't get to that part.
There was a lot of it because you're men out at sea. Now the crime, the punishment for
Those are the fucking ears.
the crime for sodomy
Hey, bucko.
was death. But there were a lot of that happening, man. I mean, you're out there at sea. I mean, it's like prison, bro. Imagine prison, but it's floating around everywhere.
I thought you said very democratic, like that they vote on that or what?
No, they don't vote on that. They don't vote on that. There was a lot of butt fucking, yeah. Like, that's the thing is, like, people think, bro, my favorite thing is this. I used to play this video game.
Butt fuckers? The pirate ship?
No, it's called Sea of Thieves. And there was guys on the website.
Sea of Thieves.
On this
You guys
website
out
where
there,
we talk,
bears.
and they would, like, dress like pirates and talk pirate to each other.
Arr.
And I would go, listen, I get that you're fast and you love the pirate thing, but you know that these guys were rapists. They were racist. They were fucking slave traders. They were murderers. They were thieves. Like, they were terrorists. They were virtually like the most, like, imagine if the terrorists of today could do whatever they wanted and it took 30 days to get help to your house. To your city, to whatever.
Sound like calling the cops in Oakland, bro.
Fuck, dog. Exactly.
What happened, bro? It took 30 days to cops to get there, and then what happened?
That's pretty much what it's like. Yeah, dude. So, like, these are awful human beings we're talking about, and as we go through, man, some of them are worse than others.
So the privateers, they were hired by the governor or the king of England,
Right.
With or the king of Spain or king of France.
Yeah.
And they had a signed document with a seal of the royal seal.
Right.
That they could take on Spanish merchants.
Right.
And just loot them of all their stuff.
Yeah, because the best weapon that the British had against the Spanish, who were taking all this gold, because the British were like, we want a piece of the Americas too. You guys can't get all the gold.
But at this time, the Spanish had a control of the New World, as they call it, right?
So
it was a new. They were trying to keep the British out of the New World,
right?
And everybody else, they felt control about it because the British already had India, huh?
Right. Yeah.
And they owned the Indian spice trade.
Indian Trading Company. And the thing was that they were like, look, we'll pay you guys. Here's permission from the government called a letter of marque. You go out and you kill these ships.
Who was one of the first privateers that was just a privateer and not a pirate?
Sir Francis Drake.
What does it say right there about him, that homie? Is he
Let's
related to the rapper Drake?
You know what's funny?
Drake is a badass name, bro.
Sir Francis Drake was a slave trader and an explorer.
Genius. You can't have one without the both.
And he was considered England's greatest sea captain.
That's one thing about back in those days, bro. When you talk about, oh man, he was an intelligent man. But back then, you can't be intelligent without having the slaves too, huh?
He had fucking bro. He was You know what's crazy is in the Bay Area we have a whole area named after him. Like Sir Francis Drake Boulevard and like all that stuff, dude. It's like,
did I perform near? Where was I staying at?
Yeah. At the Throckmorton. If you got to the Throckmorton, or if you were anywhere in Napa.
I was staying at the Earl Grey. No, Earl Grey.
Oh, you were at the for Sir Francis Drake Hotel.
No, but I was staying at the other area that was by a racist guy. You said.
Jack London.
Yeah, Jack London Square.
Oh. Was Jack London racist? Did I say that? I might have. It's probable. It's very, yeah. I mean, like, fucking white guys before like 1950.
So Sir Francis Drake was a pirate? Or
yeah, he was a privateer.
So he was hired by England to rob the Spanish?
Sir Francis Drake, Vice Admiral, was an English privateer, navigator, naval pioneer, and raider, politician, civil engineer, and boating enthusiast of the Elizabeth period. He was the first Englishman and first captain of a non-Spanish ship to circumnavigate the globe. He was also second in command of the English fleet against the Spanish Armada in 1588.
Wow. Big bucks.
Bro, this guy made so much money. And he maintained his privateer.
How big was his ship, bro? Like, how many cannons did his ship have? So he was fighting, probably wearing the red coat, huh? While he was doing all this?
Yes.
Sir Francis Drake?
Yes, because he worked under Queen Elizabeth.
So he had the red British coat, huh? Like pretty much running a side British army, right? British Navy?
Yeah, I'm trying to find. There's so much. Look, man, there's so much on this guy right here. Like,
I just want to know how big was that fool's ship in 1580? Must have been like a big sleuth.
I'm
what?
Gonna tell you right
They just
now.
say sleuth?
A sleuth is small. Then you have a sleuth, a schooner, and then you have a brigantine, and it's something else. Forces, the most celebrated.
Sir Francis Drake, man. What a fancy ass name, man.
Let's do this. You know what? We're gonna do this, dude.
Sorry, man. The
What was
monster
Sir
trying to
Francis
get in.
Drake's ship called?
It was called the
Sir
Fancy.
Francis Drake's ship. Jesus Christ, bro! I can't speak.
What? The Gold Decline.
The Golden Hind. Ah, there it is. Yep. Drake became the most accomplished European, as was the eldest 12 sons. Blah, blah, blah.
Our listeners are already typing the name of the ship before you can say it, bro.
Well, you're going to cut this out, right?
Nah, we're going to leave it.
Dude, don't do that.
The Golden Hind.
The Golden Hind.
I don't know, but one of those pirates, he used to ride the Fancy.
The Golden Hind.
The Golden Hind. So how long did the war between England and Spain go on?
Here we go. Here we go. I got it for you.
Let us know.
The Golden Hind was a galleon captained by Sir Francis Drake in his circumnavigation of the world between 1577 and 1580. She was originally known as the Pelican, but Drake renamed her mid-voyage in 1578 in honor of his patron, Sir Christopher Hatton, whose crest was a golden hind female red deer. Hatton was one of the principal sponsors of Drake's world voyage. Let's see. Launched in 1577. It went down, disintegrated, and broken up into 1600 in a storm. It was a galleon, 150-ton galleon, with 20 feet across, and 22 guns. It was a 22 gun. So it was like a mid-grade ship. That's like a That's a good, decent-sized ship.
22
22
cannons.
guns, 22 cannons. I believe Blackbeard had a 44 cannon ship. And then there's Bellamy's ship, which was the
Fancy.
Witta. That
Witta.
had that one was 38 guns. So the guns meant a lot, man. And then also, if you could add guns, that meant a lot. And then rail guns meant something as well. So that was like an important piece. And then also how many sails and how light was the ship. Because you also want to get away once you plunder.
I always wonder why, like when you like in of course getting back to a Disneyland ride, the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because there's actual battle between these two pirate ships and they're shooting each other, and there's fake things.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but aren't they like? Just say if there's two pirate ships, of course they're gonna shoot it out, right?
Sure.
Because they're at war with each other,
Well,
right?
you could-
But I'm talking about when they're raiding another pirate, they're raiding another ship. They wouldn't shoot it. They wouldn't shoot it enough to sink it, right? Because
No.
they're still gonna raid that
You're
shit.
going for the sails.
Just enough. So they're shooting the sails.
Yeah, you're going for the sails. You're going for this. You're shooting above deck or at deck
Yes.
level because you're taking out sails, and you're taking out guys that are shooting at you.
There you go.
And you don't want to shoot below deck because that's where all your cargo is.
So you've been in a pirate battle.
Yeah, I haven't been in a pirate
But
battle.
that makes sense. You know, you gotta shoot out the sails.
Right.
Because I know that I know when I was one of the pirates ratings, there were like two guys, and one of the pirate ships, they brought down their sails fast enough before they could get shot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's, the whole idea is to get you to fucking like a lot
Because
of
if your
guys.
sails are up, you could point them in a certain way to bone out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is that you would be followed by these guys. Some of these guys would throw up a pirate flag letting you know, hey, we're going to come fuck you up if you don't pull over. And sometimes you'd get followed for a week straight before they caught up to you.
I know it's a dumb question, man, but have you ever been in a sailboat?
No. Yes, I have been.
But you maneuvering
I didn't drive it. I was I was on it. I got.
But
really
you saw
sick.
the fool do it?
Yeah.
Was it a boat? The boats now are not. They have motors, right? They're not
Yeah,
just
motors,
sail,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, all our cargo ships now are work on motor. Are motorized.
No, like the ones you see, like on the ones you see in the bay, bro.
Those ones, bro. Those are just
The
for
ones you see
fun,
on
and they all have a motor because you have to have a motor. I think by law, I'm almost pretty sure regulations require you to have a motor.
But these pirate ships, like all these sails that they had,
Right.
like they could maneuver them to make them go a certain speed,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Because I saw that
Well, and then also size.
and bone, like they could really bone out if they want to. Huh? The
Really
good
bone out
ones,
quick, yeah.
the pirate ships.
Yeah, and so just so people know, you can't just sail wherever you want in the world.
Even back then, right?
No,
it was
you
controlled by
can't.
the British or the Spanish.
Bro, especially back then.
They'll shoot your ass, right?
Well, that's not that. It's like if you've heard of this thing called the trade winds. We say the trade winds. You're going to see,
The trade winds.
Yeah, if you read a lot about history, there was the trade winds. The reason why they called
I
the
only
trade
heard
winds
of dust
because
in the wind.
the trade would go along these surefire. There's going to be wind along these routes.
Trade winds.
Here's a fucked up thing, man. Is that let's say you're following the trade winds. You know that there's wind, and then a storm comes and blows you in an area where there's not typically wind.
Where are the trade winds? Where there no? You saying there's no wind?
There's places in the world where there's no wind.
The Bermuda Triangle.
And it's everywhere. There's a lot. Like it's actually a very good chance you could end up somewhere if you don't know what you're doing, where there's no wind. And in these days where there's no motors to get you out of trouble, the word for it is called becalmed. And you'd get thrown off course, and then there'd be no wind for like 100 days. And that means your ship can't go anywhere. You can't get it to safety. You can't get it to an island where you can get food. You're literally stuck in the ocean, which is vast, for like days, like 30. There's reports of pulling up on ships and everybody died, and this ship had been floating for like 100 days, and everybody just died of thirst and hunger. So the trade winds were kind of important if you didn't fucking follow them.
Let me read one of the comments real quick. What is it? Don't be lying.
I didn't say that. I ain't lying, dog.
That's good, bro. About Sir Francis Drake, privateer, and so privateer. Of course, they got hired, and they have the seal of some royal government to go pillage um enemies.
Right.
And
Enemies.
what's profiteer?
Same thing.
Same thing as privateer.
Yeah, it was just like it's called anglicized, meaning that like it's how white people fuck up words. You know, we just changed it to profiteer because they were just profiting. You know, but privateer was like more. Actually, it was profiteer, and then it went to privateer because it was like, oh, it makes it sound really bad. Because at the same time, these guys didn't want to be called pirates.
About conquistadors.
Conquistadors were explorers.
Explorers too, huh?
Right, but there's a term, and this is different, and we should definitely talk about this because we have last 15 minutes. Buccaneers and pirates. People confuse the two of them. They're completely separate things.
Buccaneers, they did it for a buck, right?
No. So Buccaneers were these dudes from France that were kicked out of France because they were Protestants. They didn't believe in Catholicism. So they were chased out of France.
Losers.
And a large group of them ended up on these islands after
Caribbean, no?
Yes, after Columbus, after all these guys had and what they would do is they would capture the cows, horses, and pigs, and they would hunt them with like dogs. These guys were never sailors, bro. At first they were never even fucking pirates, nothing. They were just dudes that wanted to not be fucked with. And what they would do is they would take these strips and they'd lay them over this wood and cook it. And this is the first form of barbecuing, and it was called boucan. And the guys were called buccaneers. And then we anglicized it to buccaneers, but it was buccaneers. And they would sell this jerky and hides.
I'm more of a barbacoa-neer.
They would make shoes. That's where barbacoa comes from, is that term as well.
So let's go back to the part about, because I remember this part somewhere when I was reading, but I forgot, but I remember now. These guys from the Caribbean, they were barbecuing.
Yeah.
Which is, they were like, what modern day is what they say is Cajun or
barbecue
or Jamaican call it
our form of barbecue
or whatever they call it in Jamaica when they barbecue. It's the same thing, huh?
Right. Well, because you look at
what were they barbecuing? The
pigs, horses, cows.
Man, must have been delicious.
Fish, shark. Some of them were eating lizards. But it was a trade for them.
These buccaneers you're talking about, later on they became slave traders, huh?
No.
No?
Well, later when they became pirates, they became traders. But again, bro, these are guys who are they consider themselves hunters. They consider themselves from France. They were all homies. It was a group of dudes. They called themselves buccaneers. And they fucking had dogs. They tamed wild dogs, and they would hunt, and they would party. They fucking partied. And people also go, sailors and rum, sailors and beer. That didn't exist at this time. These guys were drinking wine all the time.
Back then, I mean, not to change the subject, but it goes along with it. Back then, nobody had tattoos.
Not really.
Not really,
not
but
really.
like not the gentlemen.
No, definitely not.
Not the fucking white wigs.
Right.
So like
mostly tribal.
Like if we were to go and talk about the history of tattoos, we'll be talking about now, these pirate area, right? Because the wherever the pirates were going, the tribesmen were already having tattoos in their bodies.
Well, that's where they were getting their tattoos.
Yeah, from the tribesmen.
Yeah.
So and they were like, I'm pretty sure these pirates were saying like, "Hey, draw me a fucking anchor," and they were drawing anchors.
Right.
And or some of them were getting their eyebrows done.
Right. Yeah. Totally. And that's the thing, man. But these guys, I don't think these guys necessarily had tattoos. But
You never seen a Popeye? Come on, bro.
But what started to happen, I'm getting close to the end here, is that the Spaniards started taking over these islands. And they were like, we don't like these fucking Protestants on our island. So they started to chase them out.
Protestant, of course.
And then these guys were like, hey, these fucking British dudes are already fighting these Spaniards. Let's join up with them. And that's when, so the golden age of piracy comes from buccaneers. But originally, buccaneers were just hunters that were forced into being pirates, that were forced into being navigators. And then that's where you get Henry Morgan, which is one of the very first pirates of the Golden Age.
The creator of Captain Morgan.
The creator of Captain Morgan's booze. But yeah, man, fucking that's the difference. So when you think Buccaneers, you're like, oh, football players, and it shows this dude with a tricorn hat.
Yeah, the
he's
Tampa
a
Bay
pirate.
Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's not what Buccaneers looked like. They were dudes with beanies. No joke, they had beanies or it looked like what were baseball caps, and they were hunters. And they would just go around fucking. Dude, they have this really cool way, and they still hunt like this in Portugal. They have these Ridgeback, Rhodesian Ridgebacks. You know those dogs?
Yeah, like my dog Toffee.
Yes. So
With
her
big ears.
So you know what her original job was? Was she would get with like 3 other dogs, and they would fucking go through the forest, and the guy would have this huge Bowie knife or this big fucking knife, and the dogs would find a pig, and then they'd chase it, corner it, and then the 2 dogs in front would grab it by its head and pin it to the ground, and then the dog in the back would pull its feet out from under it, and then the master would come with his knife, and he'd slit the throat of the pig, and then the dogs would hold it down until it died, and then they'd got the pig, and then they would go and barbecue it and boucan it, and they would call Buccaneers. So that form of hunting is still used in Portugal to this day, but it comes from that. And then even your Weber grill that has the little gridiron across it, that's originally what the Buccaneers used, but they used wood.
Also, Jungle Juice, rum punch.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'd have to look that one up, dude.
But you never went to a party where they make jungle juice?
Sangria?
No.
No, it's jungle juice.
Jungle juice. It's like they get a big old correct me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. They get this big old ice cooler where they keep all the sodas, but they fill it up with fruit like oranges, lemons, pineapples, and different liquors, bro, like brandy, vodka, in a bathtub.
Oh, in a bathtub?
Yeah, bathtub too.
The fuck,
and
dude?
Sprite, Hawaiian punch.
You don't want to drink out of my bathtub.
And they stir it, bro, and that's and then they mix it all up, pirate style, rum punch.
Hell yeah, bro.
But it's called jungle juice.
Fucking pirates, dude.
And then it's supposed to it's supposed to be red, and it's supposed to be brandy, vodka, and whatever alcohol you have, and you mix it up with pineapple juice, Sprite, and then punch, and all the fruits together. Let it sit, and then you drink that motherfucker, man.
That sounds delicious.
And hopefully you won't get punched that night.
Oh.
That's what they call it, rum punch.
That's why that's the original.
But the pirates were like, they were like, even though they were frowned upon, but we'll get to the pirates, the actual pirates later. They were well traveled, huh?
Well,
they seen everything.
Everything.
So they had a different view in the world. That's why they could be democratic and they could vote on stuff.
Right.
They would choose their own captains.
Well, I mean, even now, if you made someone who's traveled the world, they're pretty well regarded, right? You got a lot of oh man, you've been everywhere. You must know a lot of things. Imagine then when you.
Not anybody will only tour Midwest.
Bro, but at that time, if me and you were alive at that time, we wouldn't even leave Los Angeles or San Jose. Like there would be no it wasn't like the furthest we go is like Fresno, but and that would be like, holy fuck, dude, I went to Fresno one time in my life. So imagine you're this dude and you get pushed out of your country because that's what a lot of the pirates or sailors back then did. And then you saw things, dude, you went to Africa. And again, you don't know about lions. You don't know about fucking pumas. You don't know about bears. And all of a sudden you're seeing these monsters. To you, they might as well be fucking dragons.
Imagine, bro, you're a pirate. You saw a lion and an elephant and a monkey for the first time. Then you go back to England and tell somebody what you saw. They think you're crazy.
They didn't even have names for them back then. They didn't even know, there was no one knew that a lion existed except for people in Africa.
Listen, I tell you, I saw this thing that went...
and had a big old fucking... Right. How would you explain an elephant?
Because they didn't bring elephants or that to the circuit to the 1900s.
Oh, yeah, no, man. Because there's no way to do that back then. And also, man, these ships, they're wood made of wood, and as big as they are, super fragile. They like so many shipwrecks back then. We'll do that on the next episode. But
When I was a kid, I always thought that the ships had a little thing like the sink, bro.
did you just poop?
Poop, and then the water comes in and it sinks.
Yeah. Water was constantly coming in on the ships, which is they have the. I mean, still to this day on a lot of bigger ships they have what's called a bilge.
Don't say that, man.
Don't say what.
The water gets into the ship.
They always get into ships. Water is always like back then, especially. You had a guy that worked the bilge, and he had this huge pump, and he would just constantly just pump water out of the fucking bottom of the ship. And he had the worst. That guy had the worst job.
You think the worst? What do you think the worst is? I know there's pirate ships, and I guess everybody's equal, but in a regular ship, where like a merchant ship, I know
Okay.
they didn't get paid well.
No, merchants didn't get paid shit.
You could be a merchant forever and not get nothing, huh?
Sailors didn't get paid anything, bro. Like sailors didn't get shit. Like we'll talk about Avery on the next one, but that's the thing is that pirates are getting gold, they're getting good food, they're eating this barbecue off the coast, and you're this guy that works for the Navy, and you're either moving merchandise or you're fucking you're like in the Navy fighting, and you're getting paid nothing, and you're getting hard tack, like that little bread. You're getting that really disgusting pork if they have it, and you're getting a little bit of beer, and the beer is not like it is now. It's like fucking warm and has no fizz in it. You know, it's like, so I mean, like what are you gonna
PBR.
do? You gonna be a pirate, or are you gonna be this schlub working for the fucking government, dude, for nothing?
I'd rather be a pirate and drink Milwaukee Best Light.
Fuck yeah, I'm into that.
You ever drank that beer, Milwaukee Best?
Yeah, I remember drinking that when I used to drink Miller High Life. That was my
Mil-
fucking.
Rodrigo said this joke in Milwaukee, bro. Nobody laughed. Milwaukee's best. What's your worst? Piss?
Nobody laughed at that. That's a good joke. Milwaukee
man.
loves their beer, bro.
Man, but because when you watch pirate movies, they always make them look like they're cool and they don't stink. But I know they stink, bro.
This is one thing that I left out about the Buccaneers.
I'm just saying because I don't know. You saw a lady that was sitting next to me on the way to, or on the way to. Well, I left a day early to Durham, and there was a lady sitting next to me wearing green sweats. I said, "Oh shit, I'm sitting next to Squid Games here." She was an old lady, dude.
So the Buccaneers used to take pig lard.
But let me tell you about this old lady, bro.
Okay.
She was old, dog. And I was trying to get her and her husband to get the aisle because they're old,
Right.
in and out, bro. That lady I think that lady was wearing a diaper
Oh no.
because they smelled like a baby. All of a sudden, when she got up, and I went,
Like a baby shitting or like
I
a
went,
baby
arr, arr, arr. Yeah. And then she went to a bathroom and came back, no smell, bro. I think she was wearing a diaper. She went to go change it like a
yeah,
baby.
she changed her diaper.
And she took her husband with him, so they both changed each
he
other, bro.
changed her.
That's love, bro.
That's
I'm
fucking.
telling you, bro, if I ever get to that level wearing diapers, kill me, man.
Drag me out to the forest and
Call
leave me
Dr.
for the-
Kevorkian and put me in
for
a
the
waiting
coyotes.
list.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Fucking Further Smith had a bit. He goes, yeah, Dr. Kevorkian has a waiting list, a waiting room now. Yeah, the nurse comes out and calls your name. Hey, Mr. Tom, the doctor will kill you now. So your whole life you wanted to be a pirate or what?
No.
Or look like one?
When I got older, I wanted to be a
Or
pirate.
barbarian?
I feel like we live in pretty close. Like not like
Barbarians pillage in land. Pirate pillage in
in water.
oceans.
Yeah,
in water.
pirates like literally. It's a nautical term. It's for water. Like it's like a person who steals on water.
I trip on the actual pirates, buccaneers, all those people who are actually like all they know is being out there in the ocean and feeling the air and checking out new land, and they just get used to it.
I think that's why we idolize them so much, is because it's like a real. You're the freest human being possible at that time. Like you could go anywhere, and back then, like you're very limited. Like I mean, it wasn't even horse and buggy. It was like, well, it was just horse and buggy, you know. And so like being able to go wherever you wanted, being able to see all these exotic things, and then at the same time, like
I heard they got like only like 18 pounds for the whole year.
pirates, dude. I
No,
mean,
the merchant guys, 18
yes,
pounds for the low of the totem pole.
bro, it was nothing.
I
They made
remember
nothing.
that one of the things that I learned on one of those books was that a lot of these pirates, and when they would go take on a ship, they'd always try to keep the doctor of that ship alive and take him so they can have a doctor with them all the time.
So there are two guys.
Fucking smart, huh?
There's two guys that were forced to
Not like
join.
now they kill everybody, but have nobody.
Right. There's two guys that were forced to join.
There you go.
Every time. Carpenters, because you needed someone to fix your ship after battles.
I would have been with one. I would have only my finger up, bro. Yeah, I'm a carpenter, man.
And doctors. Those guys were forced to always be, like, stay on the ship. You know, because a lot of times pirates would take a ship, and sometimes they'd force everybody to be pirates. But a lot of times they said, if you guys want to parlay, meaning give up your shit and get the fuck out of here, you're allowed to.
Don't get me started on the pirates code.
But if you didn't, you know, you could stay and be a pirate with us. But the one guys that were always forced was the ship doctor and the ship carpenter, sometimes the cook, but you could always replace the cook because every good pirate's supposed to be a good cook.
These pirates and these people how did they know how did they guide themselves? I know they had a compass and they went by the moon and all that.
This is a good question.
How did they avoid, like, I know now, you know, like, man, they have radar, they have sound waves, they got fools ahead of them that could tell them about the weather, is how rough it is. They got satellites, bro. And motherfuckers, ships still get fucked up, bro.
So I have it somewhere.
But you know that ships still get fucked up
Yes,
even though all
right.
this.
Well, that's the thing is that.
Cause I think now because, you know, just like back then, we could get through this. We could make this. But why, how did they know, bro? They just by heart or by experience?
Okay, so we have what's.
My nose,
So there's.
my beard flows this way.
We have longitude and latitude now is what we use to
That's what I do to measure my dick.
to no, it's not what you use. It's not.
I put wherever it lands. Where you at right now? Tennessee?
Okay.
That's 14. Nah.
So longitude and latitude is a grid, right? It's like it's
No matter where you point it at, like there's a measurement for that.
right. Pinpoint where you are. There's a measurement. Only one measurement for where you are on this planet.
I learned that I'm Breaking Bad.
Okay.
That's what that food left is.
Now check
is
this
treasure,
out.
right?
Experts are like, but like one of the things about pirates is and the whole nautical world back then was that there was only longitude at the time. They had not figured out latitude. So they could tell where they were going in a straight line, but they couldn't tell exactly where they were. Now, the other thing is that to the degree, everything on our maps is accurate. But back then, it was inaccurate as of 10 to 40 degrees at any time. Just to give you an idea, 10 degrees, a matter of 10 degrees on a map is thousands of miles. So it's crazy that these motherfuckers figured out how to get around because I mean, they recorded it and they recorded how they did it, but it wasn't a science. It wasn't a science at all. They could only figure out straight-wise where they would be. So if I were to like say, okay, well, we're here in LA and if I draw a straight line to here, we're going to intersect with Paris, this country, that place, blah, blah, blah. They could do that. But they couldn't do a crosshatch of it. They couldn't say, well, if I'm here and then I do this, then I'm going to end up here. They just fucking figured it out. And, I mean, that's the thing, too, is I'll find the stat for the next episode, but that's why there's thousands of shipwrecks, dude. That's why there's fucking people just dying all the time on these things because no one knew how to fucking really get around. But they did use the stars a lot. A lot of navigators use the stars themselves, so that was like a big way to find things, was like looking up at the sky.
The North Star, Holmes, is not just a pimple.
If you knew what time of year it was, and you knew what the stars were supposed to look like at that time of year, you could get around. And even today, you know, like there's this movie with Kevin Costner called White Squall, and these Cubans pull him over, and they don't like him, but they can't fuck with him, so they break his compass. And he tells the guy in Spanish, he goes, "You and I both know that a good navigator doesn't need a compass. We use the stars." And so that's a real thing.
That's what's up, man.
That's
History
what's up,
for
dog.
Fools
History
podcast.
for Fools podcast.
Where can they find you at, bro?
Find me at Butch Escobar on most of the socials. Instagram is mostly what I use. And check out my YouTube
I
channel.
heard you're speaking on pirates at the Morgan Hills Elementary School, right?
There's someone right now typing, "This guy doesn't know shit. This is not true. That's not true." Let me give this disclaimer before we close it off.
You know everything about pirates.
There's so much conflicting like stories and things. This is history, you guys. That's the thing about history is actually, we don't know accurately most anything before electronic age. So
'Cause we already know the biggest pirate in the world is Darth Vader. What's up, everybody? History for Fools podcast. See you next time. All right.
matey.